Welcome to Grown Folk Stories, y'all. Emma M, y'all. Emma M. There she is. Give it up, give it up.
Wow. This is much more intimidating than I pictured it being. So I've been coming here for about 2 years now. I moved to Chicago 3 years ago. Before that, I was living in Toronto. I'd gone to school there. I pretty much had like my Cameron Crowe moment. Like I was producing hip hop and working in a recording studio, and for like little baby hip hop head like me, that was a dream. I was like, this does not get any better. So I was working there on a visa, and I was applying for citizenship. And the woman who was sponsoring me, she was my boss's wife. She had like a financial stake in the company. She decided that instead of processing my paperwork, she was going to seduce my boyfriend, who worked at the recording studio that I was doing all my shit at. So I found this out when I was coming across the border after Christmas one year back into Canada. And I had driven through Michigan for 6 hours because that snows like a motherfucker up there. And with Wham on, no less. But so I get there and I find out I've been working, long story short, I've been working illegally for 2 months in Toronto and I have to get the fuck out of the country. They're still together, by the way. She divorced her husband. My boyfriend's 10 years younger, so they're still together. She Facebook friended me the other day. It was really weird. So I have to get the fuck out of Canada, and I'm like, where do I go? I mean, like New York seems like the natural next step, but I don't want to live in like a 5-person box in South Brooklyn and not be able to pay my electric bills. So then I was like, well, do I move home to Tulsa where my parents live? Well, no. If you've ever been to Oklahoma, that is an ass-backwards place, especially for a woman or anybody else who's not a white Christian male. So I picked Chicago because my father, when we were really poor and living in St. Louis and living like an old person's home because they had good security, no, that's for real. He saved up like all of his money so we could take a train trip, Amtrak, to Chicago when I was about 6. And we came here, and I remember the Shed Aquarium and there being like a really cool collection of fish. I mean, yeah, you should move to Chicago when you're 25 years old because they have great fish. Makes sense. So I moved here, and I found a receptionist job downtown, and like everything was squared away. Car died in Ann Arbor on a holiday weekend, had to leave it there. Had a cat and a carrier, he weighs 22 pounds, it was a whole thing. So I moved to Chicago. I'm here, I go into my first day of work, and the woman who hired me, this HR person, had been fired. All of her contracts were gone. That day I also found out that the brown line and the green line don't go to the same place. I lived in Andersonville. So I have this place, I have no money, I have no job, I have no fucking friends. I live at like Western and Foster, and there's a cemetery up there and a police precinct. There's not a whole lot going on. So I'm walking around in this neighborhood. I didn't realize it was Wicker Park at the time. I just kind of like had my resume and passing it out and hoping to God that someone would give me money to work for them, ostensibly in like a reputable, anyway. So I'm like walking around the street and I see the Silver Room. And I hadn't like spoken to a soul in like 3 days, so I figured a little, And I come in, because I was like, oh, this place looks like it could be my jam, this is cool. And Eric is standing at the front. And Eric was like the first human being I'd spoken to in like 3 days. But sorry, God, I'm sorry, everybody. This is embarrassing. I haven't met you. I'm Emma, like, I'm not usually like this. So I come in and I meet Eric, and he's really cool, and he gives me, like, faith, like, oh, shit, this could be my jam, because the only other place I'd been was John Barleycorn's, and I was like, no. I was like, if this is what Chicago's about, they Shed Aquarium and this fucking bar in Wrigleyville, I'm done. So I met Eric, and I was like, that was cool, and I went about my way, and eventually I found like a good job that I like a lot, that pays me way more than they should for my English degree. A couple months later, I found like my first friend. And he was like, yo, we gotta hang out, we gotta do shit. You gotta come with me to the spot though, I have a spot. And I was like, all right, what's the spot? Let's go there. And he's like, Grown Folk Stories, Silver Room. And so now, It's 2 years later. I have lots of new friends, and I have, like, Chicago's my city. Check it out. That's what's up. And I get the distinct pleasure. Whenever I come here for Grown Folk Stories, I try to be someone who's never been here before. Because, you know how, like, when you're dating somebody and you get to meet their parents or, like, their cousins and their friends, and it's a big deal, and you're like, that's when you know that you made it? Well, whether you guys realize it or not, or whether this is your first time or you've been here for years, I mean, we have, like, joking Noah-looking massage therapists who always tell stories, and Cara and Samantha Irby's in the house, and she's bomb as hell. And, like, you guys were my first community in Chicago. And I just want to thank you for that, for giving me, like, a sense of purpose and meaning in the city that was very foreign.
But that's what this is what we're here for. And you could be an absolute native or not, but I swear, we are still one of the most segregated cities in Chicago, in the nation. But this is Chicago, right here. Look at us. This is who we are as Chicagoans. We are an amazing group of people, and we are honored to have you be a part of our city and to be a part of our community. So yeah. And how dope Chicago is. Can we talk about Atlanta for like 2 seconds, y'all? When it snowed 2 inches and melted immediately. People were driving sideways. I saw a picture, people were on the side, driving on the sidewalks like, sleeping in CVS? What are you doing? I can imagine if they were hit with what we're hit with. Come on, Atlanta. And everyone's like trying to be nice, they're not used to this. Your children were in school for 4 days? You couldn't figure out any way to get to them. Like, I'm driving on the sidewalk. Oh, I can't get to you. What the fuck is going on? But this is why I love Chicago. And everybody, I know we've all been, this winter. Everybody should say thank you for this winter because it keeps the assholes out of Chicago. Not a lot of people can handle this. We can handle this. We know what, these little cute boots, I have some big fur-lined Eskimos, like whale lard, layered. I don't fuck around and layer up, and we might be a little thick, but we're the fucking Midwest and California, and if we were with this amazing weather all of the time, all of those California assholes would move here, all of those, whoever, they're all assholes, actually, except us. But even New York was like, oh, it's so cold. I was like, you should get, you little bitches. Really? You're on the East Coast. It snows. But anyway, we're pimp, we're the dopest, and this is our family, and we are so honored to have you. So,